All right, fresh off the back of UFC 241, Nate Diaz is back officially 3 years out. And yet he comes back against Showtime Pettis, someone who's just knocked out Wonderboy. He really has been fresh lately and looking like a new man at welterweight. Not an easy fight to return to. And Nate Diaz was comfortably the better man in that fight. Fair play. Like, I didn't think he was going to do it. I didn't think he was going to look that good. 3 years out, normally, people look rusty as fuck. Diaz didn't skip a beat. Pettis did land some big shots in the opening round, but once Diaz got on top, he closed the round out. And in the second round, he brought the same storm that he brought to Conor McGregor, and just like McGregor, Pettis struggled to live with it. I mean, it's suffocating the way he just closes that distance, walks you down, pushes you up against the cage, and unloads. And after getting mauled against the cage from the second round, Pettis, you could say he was struggling in that third round. He got hit with some knees, he got dropped by Diaz, and to be fair, I think he did well to survive that, because I thought Diaz was going in for the finish. Fourth and fifth round, if there'd been one, I think Diaz would have finished him. And for Diaz to return like that after 3 years, I was blown away. This is the thing though, is he really back? Because I'm getting all excited now and I'm like, what matches can we make? He only usually fights once a year. Unless it's Conor McGregor money, it's once a year for Nate Diaz in the last 5 years. So I hope he's back, and I hope it's Masvidal. He called out Masvidal, and the gangster versus gangster fight, for me, in a fight game where so rarely do we get the Christmas presents we're looking for, that is the fight to make. I mean, and then you've got potentially the winner of that can fight Usman or Colby. You can imagine Nate Diaz versus Colby for a title. Like, they would fucking hate each other. But anyway, just a great war. And Pettis did everything he could, but Nate Diaz had too much for him. On to the heavyweight title fight, DC versus Stipe. Stipe said before the fight, I'm going to prove it was a lucky punch last time. There's no way he'll do it again this time. He kind of proved his point, but not really. It wasn't a lucky punch. I mean, the first 2 rounds went pretty much how the last fight went. It was DC, all DC, walking him down, getting in close, landing the bigger shot, slammed him. That first round was beautiful from his point of view. I mean, he walked it. And in the second round, he definitely got caught with a few, but I felt like it was from his stupidity more than Stipe's brilliance. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're walking in front of Stipe Miocic, who has finished many people with one punch knockout power, and you're acting like he's got no punching power at all. Like, this isn't a good idea. The numbers speak for themselves. DC was outstriking him. It was looking very much like the first fight, getting in close, landing the bigger shots. However, at the end of the second round, he did say it was corner. Am I losing? Which I'm like, has he taken a couple of big shots here? I'm not sure. But I fucking loved round 3. I mean, that was a war. In heavyweight, because of the fucking power that these guys have, you don't get to see just a shootout, like an absolute shootout, like close, just fist fight in a fucking bar type shit, because people haven't got the chin to stand and do that shit in heavyweight. But these two are built different. Like, they are both champions. The fact that they've got one win over each other just proves the level that they're both at right now. But just watching them just go at it, neither man wanting to back down, it was beautiful. Stipe definitely was improving as that round went on. I still felt like DC was the better of the first 3 rounds overall. DC's coach then turns. It's gone from, can you please keep your hands up there? Keep your damn hands up, lad. And you can see why. The danger is creeping in now. The fight seems to be turning a little bit, and then it does turn like that when Stipe implements body shots to DC, and DC isn't blocking them, and they're landing over and over again, and he's backing off, and you can see a what the fuck coming into this. And Stipe smells blood. He keeps going to the body, hook after hook after hook, and then just when DC is, you can see he's losing it. The game plan's going away from him. It's wearing him down. He just puts it on him. Stipe is all over him. He has to be dragged off him. DC was out pretty much, and it really felt a little bit like the John Jones fight in the sense of when DC was on top for the opening few rounds, but he just let the fight get away from him, and that's what happened here. Great show of intelligence from Stipe to switch the game plan up as he's moving on. It makes you wonder, what if he'd done that earlier in the fight, how it would have went. They've both got to win over each other now, and part of you thinks, is DC going to retire? I mean, what else has he got to prove? He's one of the greatest to ever do it, especially between light heavyweight and heavyweight. However, he didn't look like he was old. He didn't look like he was bad in that fight. He looked every bit as good as Stipe, and for the majority of the fight, I thought he was better than Stipe. He can beat Stipe. Stipe can beat him. I'm down to see a trilogy here. I don't know about you lot. Let us know in the comments below. Stipe is the champ and probably classed as the greatest heavyweight ever at this point in terms of who he's beaten, but he still can't talk, can he? I mean, fucking hell. The guy sounds like, he sounds like a bag of shit. The mad thing was, after DC had been knocked out, he still sounded more eloquent than Stipe. I mean, poor guy was not blessed with the talking skills. I can't understand a fucking word he's saying. But I'm down for the trilogy. I don't know about you lot. I want to see one more fight from DC. I don't care about the John Jones thing anymore. John Jones can fuck around at light heavyweight with people that nobody cares about because he hasn't got it to go up to heavyweight. Whatever it is, whatever he needs, whether it's the money, whatever it is, he won't do it. So let DC do it. These two will have a hell of a trilogy. And it's been a while since we've seen a trilogy like this in the UFC. Would Jones fight Stipe? It's the fight to make. It's the only fight I'd care about for John Jones. I don't really give a fuck about who he fights at light heavyweight. So, but he just wants to avoid it, doesn't he? I don't know. There was a great fight at middleweight though. Romero and Costa went at it. The two bodybuilders of the middleweight division. Costa looking like Cristiano Ronaldo on steroids. Real Madrid might have something to say about that. Well, actually, no. That might be the most explosive middleweight fight I've ever seen. I mean, that was wild from the get-go. There was a nut shot. Both of them were dropped. The movement from middleweights like that, you just don't see that kind of athleticism. It lived up to the hype. It was a fucking great fight. I love this. Pressure from Costa, but Romero dangerous on the back foot. Dynamic strikes, spinning attacks. It was all going on. I felt like Costa won the first round. Second round was a close one. I found that really hard to score. Romero did land a takedown right at the end, and I sort of went, maybe give it to Romero then, even though he did, well, fuck all with the takedown, but you know, it's a point in it. I would have loved this to have been a 5-round fight. This was fucking box office. It was hard to score. I probably would have given it a draw for those 3 rounds, but Romero maybe landed the bigger shots, but Costa was the more pressuring fighter. Aggression sometimes wins fight. I don't know. They gave it to Costa. I didn't really care. Like, I want to see this again personally in the future. So yeah, one of the best middleweight fights I've ever seen. I fucking loved it. The next big fight in the UFC schedule is Khabib versus Poirier. Now, it's a weird one because Poirier is like a new fighter at lightweight, but Khabib mauls everyone. So I don't know, if he doesn't take Poirier seriously, he could lose. That's it. You just got to take him seriously, give him the respect, and beat him at what he does best. Poirier does hit hard though, and we've seen stand-up is not Khabib's strong point, so Poirier can keep it standing. I find this a really interesting fight. I'll probably lean towards Khabib, as most people would. He's undefeated for a fucking reason. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. Subscribe to TG2. Hit the like button, and I'll see you later.